ever tell the plaintiff that you were going to jail?
No, ma'am.
Is that correct?
No.
How do you know him?
We had met because my granddaughter, we do horse shows, and we had sold a horse, and they didn't pay all the money they needed to for the horse, but they had two bikes. And his neighbor I buy hay from, and he told me that his kid was a champion motocross or whatever. So I called Clint and asked him to give me his number, see if he wanted the bikes for $3,000. I told him what kind of bikes they were, and he said he would take the bikes.
So you sold him some bikes?
Two bikes.
Okay. And when was that?
2011, 12, somewhere in there, I don't know.
Okay. When you sold him the two bikes for $3,000?
Yes.
Did he pay you?
Yes.
Great. This case is about what you claim was a loan.
Correct.
That you made to him. And you made him the loan in what month and year?
September of 2015.
I'd like you to tell me the circumstances of the loan.
He had called me up and said that he had to go to jail and he needed some money. I think at that time he only wanted $1,000. I told him I would try to get it for him. However, before I got the money, he called me back a few hours later and said he needed $5,000.
Had you had that kind of a relationship with the defendant that you felt as if it was appropriate for him to call you for that kind of money?
Well, he owns his own property out there. He has a nice track. His kid's a national champion in motocross. And me and my granddaughter used to go out there and watch him practice on the track he has at his house. So I got to know him fairly well, and we even went to lunch once anyway.
Okay, so then he called you back and asked you for $5,000.
Yes.
And?
So I gave him $5,000.
Do you have proof of that? It's not an answer. Do you have proof that you gave him $5,000?
No, I do not. I can tell you how I gave it to him, but I don't have proof that he did not give me a receipt.
Where did you get the money from?
When we race horses or we have our show horses, we have people with green cards are the only ones that'll shovel horse manure and so forth. I can't give them a check because if I do, they go to a check cashing place and they lose a lot of their earnings. So I have a slush fund at the ranch that we pay all the help that help us with the horse shows and the horse racing, and that's where I got the money. And plus, I go to an auction.
Is this your brother?
This is my brother, and he was giving me money to buy him a tractor because he owns a ranch about 7 miles from me in Pleasant Grove.
So what you're telling me is that you gave Mr. Locks cash.
Yes.
Did he ever tell you what he was going to jail for?
I asked him and he did not answer me, so I didn't. I just thought it was DUI or something like that. I didn't know. I did not know.
What were you in jail for in 2010, Mr. Locks?
The case was dismissed.
What were you in jail for in 2010?
Having a tenant on my property who had marijuana plants on the property, a rental.
Oh, I've been a lawyer for 50 years. I never heard of that was a violation of the penal law. You mean you were arrested for growing marijuana?
I was arrested for, they figured that the person was
Don't
growing.
tell me what they figured. I don't want to know what they figured.
Yeah, the case was dismissed.
You were arrested for growing marijuana.
I don't recall the charges as growing marijuana. I believe it was for the guy in possession of marijuana, which was dismissed.
So you were, I just want to know who I'm dealing with. So What you're telling me is you were arrested because somebody that you knew was in possession of marijuana.
No, I have 87 acres with 5 tenants on it. I live on one of the houses, and one of the back houses had marijuana, and police had actually arrested everybody on the press.
So you were arrested for
possession of
marijuana?
Yes, which was dismissed.